Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Kayla.
Who is Harden Scott?
Today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been taking over my life and something that I don't know if I should be ashamed that I'm obsessed with. As you can tell from the title of this video, I'm doing a book review. A book review, yeah, you heard that. My friends that are watching this, you guys pretty much know I don't read books. I don't do that. I mean, I've tried to get into books or whatever, but I just never really cared to do that. This past year or so, I've been really investing more time into reading books. So I've read a few of them, which if you guys want book reviews on them, I can do those for you as well. But this series really hit me. If you guys don't know what Wattpad is, I want to introduce that to you before I introduce you to the book, even though I know you've probably seen this title already. But I'm too excited about this video. Wattpad is basically a place where fans can write fan fictions based off of pretty much anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be about a specific like group or like Selena Gomez or like anything in particular. It could be really anything. It's just basically where you go to write your own books. My sister had read Wattpad before, I believe. I downloaded it way back when I was in like high school, and I was on it. So I had ventured on it again, and I realized how much I missed it low-key, but it wasn't like nothing on there was like really grabbing my attention, and if it did, it's like only like 5 chapters were made out of the whole book. So it was kind of aggravating to like have to wait for the book. Not long after we had discussed the Wattpad situation and what smut is, I also want to say before I get started in this that I am going to be talking about more adult supervised things, if that makes any sense. So if I talk about a topic such as sex, I don't want someone to be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, like flipping out, because I'm 20, so my content is not going to be the same as it was when I was 14 or 16 or whatever. I just want to mention that because I wanted to address to you, if you don't know what smut is, it's basically very, very detailed sexual intercourse within a book. So there's a lot of that in this series, and so I had came across this book in Kroger, and I was like, this book looks so intriguing. I picked this book up and I was like, I have to read this book, but it just sat there for a while because I was in the middle of reading that book. And the book that I want to talk to you guys about today is After. Everyone knows, if you're my friend, you know I'm obsessed with this book. I'm obsessed with the book, the movie. I literally, my face just widened with like so much happiness. I'm here to talk to you lovely people about it because this book is phenomenal, and I swear to God, everyone needs to pick this up and read it. I also want to mention I'm so obsessed that I bought the movie. Love the movie. And today is going to be a special kind of video because I'm not just going to talk about the first book. I'm going to be talking about After We Collided 2, which is the sequel to the book After. I'm going to be talking about After and After We Collided. I just finished this one today. Started the After We Fell today, but obviously I don't want to sit here and like talk to you guys about it if I don't know what's in it. Okay, so I have the notes on my phone. I'm going to be reading off of that. I also want to talk about some of the key points from the book and the movie that are differences. If you guys have not seen the movie or read the first 2 books, I recommend do not watch this video because I'm going to spoil some of the bigger parts so I can talk about them with you guys. If you guys didn't know, After was actually based off of a fan fiction written about Harry Styles. Anna Todd, I'm assuming, was a huge One Directioner, whatever they want to call them. I liked their music, but I wasn't like obsessed with them, so it's really funny that I love a book as much as I do that it's about Harry Styles. Just to mention, before someone's like, oh, well, I'm definitely not watching this now because it'll be like all One Direction songs. It's really not. It's not. It has nothing to do, like the main character's not even in the band. Like it's good, I promise. One thing that I want to mention, the difference between the two, is that Wattpad, the book version, his name's Harry because it's written about Harry Styles, but the book itself is written and his name is Harden Scott. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys before you like buy the book or something and you're like, oh, excuse me, or like if I talk about Harden and you read the Wattpad and you're like, his name's Harry, like you said his name wrong. No. It was written on a fan fiction about Harry Styles, so on the Wattpad, what's the original is that way, and some of the tweaks and errors are different from this book and the Wattpad. So just so we're all aware of that, I wanted to make that very clear. I wanted to name some differences from the movies that weren't that big of a deal, but some of them were. What I wrote in here was that the movie was too PG-13 for the book. And what I mean by that is there's so many things that happen in the book that they don't mention in the movie, and I'm so irritated about it because like the people that watch, like the moviegoers, are the people like I used to be that would have not ever known all the rest of the stuff that had happened in the book. So basically in the movie, like I said, I'm spoiling it now, so if you guys do not want to be spoiled, do not watch. Just come back and watch it after you've seen the movie and you read the book or something. Anyways, so the movie, it ends by Tessa finding out that Hardin had basically made a dare, if you will. It wasn't even like a dare or a bet. It was just he had said to his friends, I can make her fall in love with me and just turn it off. That's pretty much exactly how he put it. That's it. That's what he says in the video. If you guys want to see, I'll link the video down below if I can remember to do that. That's pretty much what he says. So in the book, it's different because the book is a bet against his friends that he can take Tessa's virginity, and he ends up obviously doing that because the book is freaking this thick. Do you not think he would have taken her virginity within that whole time period? Obviously. He ends up taking her virginity, and the key points in the book are the fact that when she's being confronted, like you see in the movie, in the book, they're being confronted the same way, except she, like Molly, which is, we don't like Molly, okay? Molly is a, anyway. Molly comes off to Tessa and she's like, I really didn't think that all this was true until I saw the bloody sheets for myself. Which, for all you youngins out there, if you didn't know, things happen within your body during sex for the first time. And it's not always with sex, so I don't want to scare anybody, just in case you're like me and you're like, oh my god, because my 12-year-old self would have been like, oh, hell no. You bleed during intercourse sometimes. So basically, that's what happened to her, and she bled all over her sheets, and Hardin was like, I'm gonna get rid of it, tossed it in his trunk, didn't think nothing about it. Obviously, he had went to go show his friends, which is how the bet ended up coming out to be, and he also took the condom that he had used during it to show them. That's like the major, like the ones that everybody and their mamas were so mad about because it wasn't in the movie. Another point that I wanted to mention, because it doesn't happen in the movie, and I just want to mention a couple of these little things really quick. They never actually say I love you. In the book, they say I love you like halfway through, and like he's like, you know, he had mentioned to her at one part in the book, he's like, I love you, Tessa, and she's like, I love you too, and he's like, don't say too, it makes it sound like you're agreeing with me, say I love you. So that's how they always talk to each other. It's like, I love you. And going along with that, he uses baby a lot in the book. He's like, baby, like, I love you, or like, baby, don't cry, or this or this. And like when they're being intimate, he's like, you know, using baby a lot. And he was writing stuff on her back, and like writing words or whatever with his fingers on her back, and I think with the first word was like car or something, and then she was like, I don't know, do another one and I'll get it. And he was like, okay, so he like wrote I love you on her back, and he kind of hesitated for a second, but we as the watchers now know that he really does love her, even regardless what happens at the end. So we do understand at this point in the story he did fall in love with Tessa, and that broke my heart, because like I for real thought she was gonna be like, oh man, like I love you too, but she turns around and doesn't even, she's oblivious, like she didn't even know what he wrote. So that's the only time we ever really see them say I love you, and other than the end, and I'll put like a little like thing on here if I remember. It's basically the note that he had given his teacher to give to Tessa. One of the things that really made me mad, other than the bed sheets and the condom, was the book ends with Tessa chewing out Hardin. She's like, you ruined the one thing that was supposed to be good for me. Like, sex is supposed to be something that I was like amazed at. Like, it's the fact that I did it for the first time with someone that I loved. It was supposed to be cherished for someone that wanted it with me. Zed just so happens to come in at the perfect time, okay? In the book, he comes in at the perfect time, and I want to say it's Tessa that says, can you drive me home? And he's like, of course, why not? So literally Hardin like runs after them and realizes that Zed is taking the love of his life out of his hands and driving her off into the distance. The movie doesn't end like that. Obviously, like I told you, the movie doesn't end like that, and the whole time Zed's in the room with them when Molly is being the brat she is and telling Tessa that it was all a game. I was so upset that they didn't put the ketchup scene in there. And for anyone that has read the book, I hope to God someone's like, me too! Like when they watch this, because I do that when I watch these videos. There's the lake scene. It's when he touches her for the first time, and afterwards they go to the diner, and she orders a burger, and he comes back and gives it to her, and she's like, I'm sorry, I ordered this with no ketchup. And he's like, okay. Hardin makes fun of her for it, but then later on in the book, she ends up hanging out with Zed for some, I don't remember what reason, because it's been a minute since I've read the book. But next thing that I wish they would have put in there that was kind of like just like a minor thing is the wedding scene, like the wedding preparation, which is on the extra bonus features or whatever. It's basically just when Hardin is like talking about how he can't believe that Tessa finally convinced him to go to this stupid wedding, and she steps out and he's like so mesmerized how beautiful she is. Hardin has nightmares In the first book, it's introduced that Hardin has nightmares, and it's from a blast from the past. Only sleeps at night if Tessa's there. So you learn this throughout the first book, which irritates the crap out of me that they didn't put in the movie, but whatever. And Trevor works at the place. He does something with numbers. I forget what it was, but he basically works there, and Hardin does not like him at all. So keep that in mind. Hardin hates Trevor. And while I'm mentioning that, there becomes a point in time when Hardin stops and like thinks to himself that it's better for Tessa to move along and just be with someone that can make her happy rather than him being with her. And it ends up screwing everything up. So Hardin, you're an idiot for that. I literally don't understand why you hurt my feelings when you did that. Basically, homeboy ends up driving from their house to Seattle just to cuss him out, basically. So that's where I lead in with my next bullet point, and that's the first sex scene you get with Hardin and Tessa of this book. I'm not going to go into detail because that, to me, if you guys, I mean, I don't mind telling you about it. I'm pretty open book. I don't care to talk about it. But there's so many bullet points I have to get to, and just to let you know, there's a bunch of other sex or smut or whatever that goes in between each one of these little bullet points, because they have sex at least probably 60 times in this book at least. The thing that I wanted to mention, because when I read about it on Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere basically, from every fan account, they were like, oh my god, I cannot, but I'm not ready, I'm not prepared for the 9 days if she films it and puts it in the movie. The 9 days are going to be in there because Anna Todd like retweeted about it or whatever. The 9 days, I don't even want to go through all of it, but it's the most depressing thing I've probably ever read in my life. It is literally the saddest freaking thing, especially if you're very invested in the relationship of Tessa and Hardin. It's basically 9 days where they broke up. What a dummy. I almost forgot to mention one of my favorite things about the second book, and obviously now I know that the third and fourth do the same thing, is that they have two different perspectives. So you see Hardin's perspective of what happens and Tessa's. Zed in the phone messages. And I'm going to just add the stripper in with that. So on Hardin's 21st birthday, Jace, and I want to say Logan, Hardin, and he was going to just hang out with Tessa, Hardin was. But instead he was like, I have to go to the stupid party because they spent all this money, and they made a fit about how all the stuff that went into doing it. So he ended up going to the party. He told him that he wasn't drinking, but he ended up having like a drink or two. I want to say maybe 2 drinks. He ended up basically, okay, here's a good point. Okay, from his perspective, he drank maybe 2 drinks. He went to the kitchen and found Zed, and Zed was like, hey, you left your phone on the couch. Here it is. So he gave him the phone, and he was like, okay, thanks. And then here you hear Jace in the background going, you can't leave yet, Hardin, or whatever, not until these people show up. And then 2 strippers come in, and he leaves because he's like, oh, hell no. Tessa would flip her shit if I was in here with these strippers. So he leaves, okay? That's Hardin's perspective of the 21st birthday. Tessa's is different because Tessa wanted her to spend his birthday with her, but he obviously didn't. And I think they had texted each other. I think he really did text her and say like, what are you doing or something, and she said, how's the party? And he texts us back and he says, lame. He says, can I come over? She says, sure, how long are you gonna be? And he says, 30 minutes. So she waits for 30 minutes. She bakes a cake with Karen, which is his stepmom, bakes a cake with Karen, freaking wraps a gift for him. So she does all that birthday preparation, and when I tell you, I was so mad. She waited around for 2 hours and he never even showed up. So he got mad because she wasn't texting him back because he had said hey or something, or like okay or something to respond to her, and she didn't text him back. So they end up fighting later on his phone, and he realizes that Zed was the one that sent the text. Hey guys, I was editing the video and I wanted to put in here that Zed was not the one that had sent the messages, but I don't want to ruin it for anyone that would like to read the books, but you do find out in the third book who actually sent the text messages. So yeah, messages to make it look like he stood Tessa up, which made me so mad. So I really wanted to talk about that point, but that's pretty much all I had to say about that. Talk about Hardin's personality. I love Hardin, but I hate his personality, or just the way he, maybe not his personality, but the way he reacts on stuff. He gets mad about stuff. Like, he has anger issues. He gets so mad about stuff, and then he doesn't have good communication at all. So like, if he gets mad at you, he won't communicate with you, and then if he finally does communicate with you, he gets so mad that he leaves. He runs away. He's a runner. He does not like to stay and talk to you about the situation, which irritates the crap out of me. She hears this woman scream, this is not your apartment or whatever, like you can't just go in there. And then before you know it, Tessa's mom busts through the door, right? Because she realizes that Tessa gave up spending Christmas with her to spend it with Hardin. So she's like, you really would ditch me for him. I had seen this and I thought it was the funniest thing ever, and I thought it was somebody just made up something, and I was like, that's so funny, and it's something Hardin would say. And then I realized it was actually in the book when I read it. What the hell does he say? Hold on. Hold. I laughed so hard at that scene. Hold on. I'll make sure I remember that when I'm burying myself and your daughter tonight. It's so funny. Like, that's really not funny. Like, if I found out that my, like, boyfriend or my whatever had told my mom that, I probably would have smacked the hell out of him. But I just thought that was so funny. Like, that's something to watch Tessa do it to herself. If you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, if you're a child, please go look up Urban Dictionary or something. I don't know. I'm not about to, like, get in trouble for saying all this stuff on YouTube. So, but basically, he wants to get aroused. So he's like, Tessa, do this and I'll show you how to do it to yourself, and then I'll watch you do it, and then I'll do it to myself. Even though he doesn't really do it to her himself until she asks him. But very steamy. Let me just put it like that. And he ends up in her yoga class. Her yoga class. When I tell you, this book is so funny. Like, it's so inappropriate, but it's so funny. He ends up getting aroused again, shall I say, from watching her do yoga poses. I'll put it like, thanks so much for watching. If you stuck around this long, I love you so much. I'm gonna be reading After We Fell and then doing a book review on it too, because I want to start doing stuff that I'm actually really passionate about, and I love After, so I'll be doing a bunch of like trailer reactions and stuff for you guys, and maybe like a playlist or something, because I listen to their playlist all the time. So I also wanted to mention that Landon, dang, I'm all over the place, I'm sorry. Tessa really good advice and says, just because someone isn't loving you how much you want them to love you doesn't mean they're not loving you with all that they have. Hey y'all, what's up? I'm coming from me editing. I wanted to stop by and let you guys know that I decided to cut a lot out of the ending of this video. I had mentioned a lot of what happens as far as the ending of the book, and I realized that it kind of gives it away if I tell you guys pretty much everything that happens. But just know that Hardin has really bad anger issues, and that's where I'm tying this up with. He has very bad anger issues, and homeboy literally went and beat the frick out of Zed, and this is where all the complications go. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that, because I did cut a lot out, because I felt like it would have been boring had you just listened to me talk for 20 freaking minutes. So yeah. If Tessa doesn't go around Zed, he won't fight Zed. So Dummy doesn't listen, because he keeps thinking over and over in his head how Hardin is jealous, okay? Like, very jealous. Like, if he so thinks of a guy touching Tessa, like, I'm talking about sexually, he'll literally flip and want to, I mean, like, ends up in a concussion, and he ends up with a concussion in the hospital and literally has, like, a broken nose. Like, he beats him up bad. So, because of him doing that, homeboy has his girlfriend, or his, like, gal, friends with benefits, whatever, Tessa and Landon to pull it out of class, and told Hardin got arrested of that. And Hardin ends up telling Tessa he wants a tattoo of her name on him, and she's like, no, and da da da. And in her head she's thinking, because I haven't told you about Seattle, but she didn't tell him that, which was stupid. She should have told him that. But he gets a back tattoo instead of a quote. Let me look it up, because it's like, I never wish to be parted from you from this day on, which is basically like a marriage vow, because he doesn't believe in marriage, which kind of irritates Tessa. And I'm so mad she didn't just like address that. She did the one time, but he didn't really go into detail with that, which makes me mad, because like Tessa wants to be married and have children, and he doesn't. He's going to pay for his tattoo after they get done with the tattoo. And a guy that kind of looks homeless, smells like alcohol, looks really rough, walks in, and he's walking towards Tessa, I believe, and Hardin steps in front of him like, don't touch my baby girl, like, do not play with me like that. And then the book ends with Tessa realizing that it is her dad that walks up to her. Yeah, I'm so excited to start this like on my channel, because I love After. It's like, it's actually really, and if you want to follow me on Pinterest, I'm not kidding when I say I'm always adding stuff on Pinterest to get this video out there, which, or I can't wait for you guys to see it. Hopefully you liked this video. I'm really sorry it was long. The next one won't be long, I promise, just because there were so many key points I wanted to talk about the second book, and I wanted to reference the first book. So the third one definitely won't be as long as this video, and I can't wait to do a trailer reaction for you guys, do updates for you guys, because I love watching them. So I definitely want to do them with you guys, because I'm obsessed with After. It's literally all I talk about. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys go read a book. I hope this inspires you to read after. It's really awesome. Like I said, the only difference is that I love Hardin Scott, not Harry Styles. But I hope this inspires you to at least go read after. Give it a chance. It's really amazing. It's a great book. I 100% recommend it. And if you do, leave a comment down below or tag me in a picture or something on Twitter or Instagram or something. And I will see you guys for my next video. I love you guys so much. I hope you're having a great day. Bye.